In this video, we're going to be talking about setting up your development environment, the requirements to set things up to complete this course. So for your development environment, you do want to be setting up something that you can do Java development. And that's really going to be any major operating system, macOS, Windows, or Linux. 8 gig of RAM is probably a realistic minimum. I would say 16 gig or more is preferred. I personally run 64 on a MacBook Pro. That's a lot of memory, but I do some fairly complex things, and Java development is not known for being light on memory. We do need to have Java 17 or higher. Java 17 is a requirement of Spring Framework 6 and Spring Boot 3. They do need Java 17. If you do run something less than Java 17, you will see errors. The Oracle Java or OpenJDK, either of those are going to be fine. It used to be where the alternative JDKs were a little sketchy. The quality on the other implementations is actually pretty good now. So you can use your flavor of the JDK that you wish. Should be okay with that, but you do need to have the JDK installed, not the JRE. We will be using Maven in the course. I do recommend version 3.6 or higher. Actually, you probably could go with a little bit less. If you have something lower than that, probably going to be fine. Maven's been stable for a long time. I do recommend that you do have it installed for command line use. To set that up, it's going to be slightly different depending on your operating system. The Apache Maven documentation is pretty good as for getting things set up, so refer to that documentation if you need help setting up your system to have Maven working from the command line. Now, to verify your environment, I do recommend that you're able to run these commands from the command line. You should be able to see that Java is installed using Java minus version. Also verify that JDK is installed properly, and that's going to be Java C minus version. So if that is not running, that means you have the JRE, not the JDK. And then you can also verify that Maven is installed for command line use using Maven or MVN minus V. That will show you the installation of Maven. Now, GitHub is used in the course for source code. It is optional. If you don't have GitHub installed, or Git, I should say, you can download the source code from GitHub as a zip file. If you do need help using Git, see Appendix A. I do have a collection of articles to get you started there. And again, you do not need GitHub, but having Git skills is going to be very important to employers. So I do recommend it. Using GitHub in the course it will make your life easier, but again, not recommended. You can work around it and not need it. Also, IntelliJ Ultimate is used in the course. This is not required, so I get asked a lot of questions if you need to use IntelliJ. You do not, but I will be using IntelliJ Ultimate in the course. Ultimate does bring additional features for Spring Framework specifically. I do have a 120-day free trial to IntelliJ Ultimate. That will be in a following lecture in this section. But if you do not want to use IntelliJ Ultimate, the IntelliJ Community Edition is perfectly fine. You just won't see the features for Spring and some of the other enterprise Java stuff. STS, Eclipse, and NetBeans also should be fine. I personally have not used those for a long time, so I do not know those IDs, but I do know IntelliJ fairly well, which is going to be used in the course. But again, the source code examples are IDE agnostic. Everything's set up to build with Maven, so any of these IDE options should work perfectly fine with a Maven build. So that is the core. So you can use any ID you want, but I do have a preference for IntelliJ myself.